Today, we've got a real-life wake-up call for Trump supporters. A Florida roofing boss who's now questioning his vote after ICE raided his workforce and left his business in shambles. Grab the tea. It's messy. Meet Wendell Bates Jr., owner of a small roofing company in Florida. Not too long ago, he proudly supported Trump, until ICE swooped in and detained 1/3 of his crew. That's right. ICE picked up nearly half his workers in a surprise raid. He said, "You get to know these guys. They're not faceless statistics, just people he trusted and depended on daily." In a public outcry, Bates admitted, "I may have voted for Trump, but I can't stay silent about what's happening."
The immigration stuff happening at job sites all around the state of Florida, here in Tampa, Tallahassee, I've seen it everywhere. I've seen a lot of the videos, and it seems like a lot of people are just yelling and they're mad. I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand it either. It's not what I voted for. I voted for the criminals to be removed, 100%. But there are a lot of hardworking immigrants in this country that are building this country. I've got a solution. The solution, President Trump, is to not deport these gentlemen right away, these hardworking gentlemen and women that have been removed from these job sites. Get them legal status somehow, under a work visa, background check them, do whatever you need to do to make sure they're not criminals, but let's get them legalized in a rushed form or fashion. That's what needs to happen. That's the right thing to do if you care about America. It's the right thing to do because construction is the biggest industry. I'm sorry, healthcare, but we all know I won't go to health. I don't do that here. Construction is the biggest industry in this country. And you're ripping the people out of it. Robots are not coming soon enough to build this stuff. You can only build so many 3D printed homes, and they need people there to manage those too. So Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, the solution, not the problem. We all know what the problem is. The solution is to not deport them. Get them legalized as soon as possible with the proper background checks. If they have to go, they have to go. But these are hardworking people that are building this country to provide for their families. There's enough craziness going on in this world. We don't need it here as much as it's happening with good people being removed. Dishwashers and stuff in other cities. It's sad. It's sad. It makes me sick. But that's the solution, President Trump, is to not deport.
Now, for me, I actually voted blue for quite a while. I'm a hardcore Democrat, and I vote because I agree with a lot of their policies, as well as the fact that I do believe a lot of those policies would actually benefit a lot of other people. And I've noticed that the other side tends to vote for a lot of policies that will only benefit themselves, but then they start to freak out when things don't go their way and start to affect them personally. And I actually scrolled through that video to go through the comment section, and the comment section is basically just torching this guy. And then I noticed that he actually replied to a few of those comments with this. And he responded with this comment to a lot of people who are saying that he's only making this type of video because it's affecting him personally now. Now, for me personally, we all saw that President Taco D ran on mass deportations, and he's actually following through on it. So I genuinely don't know why people on your side of the aisle are freaking out, because it's what you voted for. The answers were clearly in front of you. It was an open book test. It was stated in Project 2025, and many of us on this side of the aisle were actually trying to warn you and tell you guys, but we kept getting called names, TDS, etc., etc. And if you were paying attention, former President Biden as well as VP Harris both ran on the platform for a pathway to citizenship for a lot of the undocumented folks that are in this country, the ones that actually do a lot of hard work.
Now he's watching his business crumble, and the pain runs deeper than money. It's personal. The crew he knew his family was suddenly gone, thanks to the policies he once supported. This isn't just one guy's story, it's echoing across the country. MAGA voters everywhere are realizing ICE raids aren't just targeting others. They're hitting American small businesses right in their gut. When policy meets personal pain, politics turns real.
Former fashion.
The quote comes to mind. Convince the poorest white man that he is better than even the best black man, and he won't notice that you're picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. That is what El Presidente Taca has done. When he stood up there the first time and said that they're not bringing their best, they're bringing criminals, rapists, drug addicts, and some he assumed were good people. When y'all re-elected him, after he stood there and rally after rally told you what he was going to do, and then stood in front of Madison Square Gardens on the anniversary of when Hitler did it, and told you that he was going to get them out, you went to the voting booth and voted for him again. Because you, white boy, had been convinced to look down your nose at every single person who is not like you. Now you're on here realizing that your business is going to suffer because now you can't get laborers because none of the Americans are going to work for you. Okay. All while he fired judges, immigration judges. You can't really do anything in a quick, fast hurry when you don't have the personnel to do it. But y'all cheered it on. You cheered it on when they were masked Gestapo in the streets, disappearing people. When the Supreme Court of the United States of America told El Presidente Taco that he had to bring Abrego Garcia back for his due process, y'all sat there and let him and watched him complain about, well, if we have to give due process to everybody, it's going to take forever. You looked down your noses and then you emptied your pockets for him. A con man. A criminal. A convicted felon that now you're sitting here surprised that he is doing felony shit. I'll give you one more quote before I leave you. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And that's what you fear. You have allowed a white supremacist, okay, a Nazi, to instill fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of education, fear of you might actually having to stand up and say you're wrong, fear that you might actually have to take some of the personal responsibility to handle the consequences of your actions, not understanding that elections have consequences. And you have used that fear to look down on every single person that doesn't look like you, love like you, talk like you, etc., etc. You want to fix this shit? Get up. Okay? Get up. Go hold him accountable. Because you're the reason. And people like you are the reason. And people like the ones that set it out are the reason that we have a fascist regime. Time for the GOP to bring back that personal responsibility. This is your fuck up. Go clean up your mess. The rest of us, we're just sitting here because we're tired. We tried to tell you. Hell, he fucking told you. And here you sit going, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. He told you what he was going to do. You just didn't want to listen to it. That's a you problem.
So what's the lesson? When government action impacts your neighbor or your crew, you can't ignore it. For Bates, the boots-on-the-ground reality broke the MAGA bubble, and now many more might follow. What do you think? Should business owners like Bates have spoken out sooner? Sound off in the comments. Like if this hit close to home. Want more hard-hitting updates and messy tea? Subscribe and turn on notifications. Don't miss a beat.